All right, guys, that wraps up squats for the day. At least I think it does. Began with the front squats again, just like the last few weeks, last several weeks anyway. Knees feel pretty decent. Hips have been a little bit worn, but not as much as usual. Did not train at all Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. Haven't felt well, to be honest. Just haven't felt well at all. My body wanted the rest, and my hips, my glutes and hips, the muscles, probably have less pain and stiffness and soreness than normal. So I did the numbers that I needed on the front squats. I went up the percent that I needed to go up, and I nailed a safe 3. Went up and took a couple of singles after that, feeling pretty solid. Can't complain. Moved over to some partial front squats, and the idea behind those is that I'm working on some top end explosion. I need to be able to extend up and get some triple extension and get up onto my toes a little bit from that position to help me on the extension on stones as well as the overhead press. So I did the numbers that I needed to for my 5 sets of 2, which is something similar to what I want to overhead press. It's a little bit less actually, plus bands. And then I worked up heavier after that. Felt a little bit out of place on the last set that I did. A little bit out in front of me, and that put a little bit of extra strain on that hamstring that I tore about 6 weeks ago. Just felt it working, and probably a little bit too much. So I stopped right there. It probably looks much better on video than it felt. So I stopped, made progress, can't complain. Went over to the box squats after that. First time I've box squatted, when I tore my hamstring 6 weeks ago or so, that was the first time I'd box squatted in a long time. So today was the first time I'd box squatted since then, and I chose to go a little bit lower than usual. Kept my spud briefs instead of my metal briefs, and went reactive. So 4 sets of 5 with the empty bar and the heavy bands, hoping that those bands and that bar doesn't bother my spine tomorrow. But that felt solid. It's something to build on. And if I can continue to do that every week, I'll make a little bit of progress on those exercises, feel good, and hopefully make that transfer over into the events that I need to make it transfer over to. So now it's time to press, guys. Let's get moving. PR single. Wow. All right, guys, I think I'm calling it there for a day on the press. That was a PR strict double. That was a PR, I call it a contest press double as well. That's got to be close to a PR single, just a PR. Personal record. I'm calling it, even though I had written in my notes to do a bunch of extra chest work. some tempo work on the bench press, some tricep work. There's some other things that I need. I can feel that my lats could probably use a little bit of work in the overhead press position. It is hot. I've been here a while. I've already squatted. And I've got a few things that they ache. Elbows. I've got a shoulder that feels kind of funny, although it feels really good today. It has been feeling funny. I'm not forgetting that it has been feeling funny. Elbows feel a little weird. Wrist and hands. I don't need to risk it. I don't need to take a chance. So what I can do is on Friday, when I'm doing Atlas stones and I finish Atlas stones, I can do a bunch of accessory pressing for chest, shoulders, and triceps, or I can do more tonight to kind of work out some elbow-ish stuff with bands at home. I can do the same thing tomorrow. I think I need to hit it with a little bit more frequency than I do intensity, especially all on one day. I do this with a lot of the people that I work with that are brutally strong, like dangerously strong. We'll do the core lift on one day and then program the accessories for the next day. So they wake up the next day and see how they feel. Because a lot of times they can go in the gym and produce amazing amounts of strength on their core lift, and they don't realize they've already overtrained, and they get in there and do everything else that I asked them to do. And they wake up the next day and feel horrible, and they can't train very well for several days. We're talking about people whose log press is almost as much as my deadlift. So their body is really, really worn. So not that that really doesn't apply to me, but yet it does. I need to come in and do what I can do today and then see how I feel tomorrow. And if I feel good tomorrow, then I can do something tomorrow or Friday after Atlas stones. A little bit of chest, a little bit of shoulders, a little bit of triceps to help prime me to come back in on Sunday, do some decent Viking press outside. So hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm getting out of here. See you on Friday night.